Hi, my name is Natalia and today I'll be discussing San Ysidro. Using my story map from this link, I'll be discussing some things about the San Ysidro community, such as its history, situation, issues, and some action solutions that are taking place within that community. The theme of my presentation today is the causes and the effects of the housing crisis in San Ysidro as well as the quality of living. To begin with, I'm going to start to discuss some of San Ysidro's name and its history. The name of San Ysidro was given to a nearby mountain, an Indian rancheria in Spanish times, named after Saint Isidro, who lived in the 17th century. But it was also later applied to the town in 1909. So just less than a century, more than a century actually, San Isidro got its name. San Isidro was actually a main contributor of the San Isidro missions, which is one of the reasons why San Ysidro and San Diego County have a large Hispanic population and culture. Today, San Ysidro's identity still remains within the Hispanic community due to its population, culture, and proximity to the US-Mexico border. Right here, I provided a map of the USA Census Hispanic population map, focusing mainly on San Diego County. Using the legend here, the dark blue represent a population of 30% or more of the Hispanic people. San Ysidro is located in this area, and you can see that it has a large Hispanic population. Moreover, I'll be discussing the siting situation of San Ysidro, which is that it is located in Southern California as well as South San Diego County. To describe San Ysidro, I would say that it's a great location for tourism, especially if people's intentions are to visit Mexico as well. One of the things about San Ysidro is that it's known as the gateway to the Americas because of its international border. The San Ysidro port of entry, which is the most visited and the busiest in the world, as it attracts a tremendous number of tourists from many countries. Additionally, San Ysidro is known for its rich cultural roots that can be credited to the city's proximity to the first Spanish missions built in San Diego. Moving on to the main thing on this presentation, I'm going to be discussing issues that I found in San Ysidro. Due to the fact that San Ysidro's housing consists of poorly designed multifamily buildings, in addition to its growing industry and tourism, San Ysidro is experiencing trouble in being able to provide affordable housing to its residents. Many of the existing multifamily housing is not sensitively designed, and it disrupts the small-scale character of San Ysidro's neighborhoods. In addition, much of the older housing is in need of rehabilitation, which many residents are unable to afford. So the big thing in San Ysidro as regarding to housing is that many of the older buildings are run down, and the residents do not have enough funds to fix them on their own, but they're also not able to afford the new housing that the city is intending on building. So they're kind of stuck in the middle between living in run-down houses or being homeless. If you take a look at the map that I provided here, it is a map of the Opportunity Zone qualification areas in California. The dark areas, or the gray areas, represent the not qualified areas, while the colored teal color represents the qualified. This area of San Diego, which is San Ysidro, remains in the gray, which means has very limited opportunities that it is able to provide to its residents. For the purpose of this project, I used a demographic lens in studying San Ysidro, since it is maintaining housing for low-income residents as well as people of color, which make up a majority of the city's population. Additionally, going through several land use, conservation, community, and city council plans from the San Diego city and government website, San Diego intends to make huge changes to improve the quality of living in their city. But the issue that I found with this is that the city council, especially that of District 8, which San Ysidro falls under, is experiencing trouble in overcoming the challenges of affordable housing. One of the things that I'm interested in going through these issues is the man-land relationship occurring in San Ysidro. Um, One of the questions I asked myself was, will the low-income people of color, primarily Latino, be forced to leave San Ysidro due to the failure of the land use plans that are currently taking place, or will they be forced out by the city uh, to residents with higher incomes that will be able to contribute to the expansion and development of the city? Um, One of the readings that really helped in discussing and researching San Ysidro was that of Laura Pulido's, because some of her work, or most of her work, has to do with geographies of race and ethnicity, and this intersection of geography and critical ethnic studies. And that's something that I saw in this, as well as landscape studies. Um, One recommendation that I say for San Ysidro in fixing or being able to improve their approach in solving this housing crisis issues is like, in addition to activism in the Latino community, is to have the San Ysidro community um, learn more about like state and like legal issues, so that they can be able to defend themselves and maybe even provide their own solutions as to how they feel that they should take an approach to the quality of living that they're providing in this city. If you take a look at this map right here, it is a map of affordable housing that is at risk in San Diego County. The red represents the areas that are at total at risk, and San Ysidro is in this lower bottom area that is in red. So 2,386 homes are at risk to being able to not being afforded by its residents. Additionally, I wanted to San Ysidro, I wanted to look at the San Diego area in general, since in addition to inaccessible affordable housing, San Diego is experiencing other issues regarding water and climate, which can be seen through Chula Vista. Chula Vista is experiencing poor waste management practices, polluted beaches and waters due to being located in the San Diego metropolitan area that is currently undergoing expansion. While my issue focuses on how urbanization expansion would affect the people of San Diego, Chula Vista can be discussed using a more geographic lens of water and climate. Uh, while we may be looking at nearby areas through different lenses, both problems go hand in hand, because while there has been a focus on making San Diego a larger metropolitan area, water and waste management is being overlooked, as well as the current communities of this area. In Chula Vista, the problem is that water and waste management is being neglected in expansion, because right now they don't see it as an immediate problem, so it's not being taken into consideration. In San Ysidro, these low-income communities and low and Latino people are being overlooked, since they, I feel, in my opinion, have not voiced their frustration enough to the homelessness and the housing crisis that's occurring. So they're being overlooked, unfortunately, in this situation. One of the questions that I ask myself is, like, how will the county of San Diego be able to attempt to become a more powerful area of California when it's jeopardizing vital aspects such as water, sanitary conditions, destroying the diverse communities it takes pride in having? Moreover, if you take this issue to California as a state, you can see that that most of the problems in Southern California uh, are more demographic, such as housing, development, overcrowded, homelessness. Southern California is expanding at a great rate due to its demand, but because so many people are incoming into this state, at least in Southern California, there are like many problems arising in keeping up with such demand. This map that I provided right here, if we focus on Southern California, it discusses housing difficulties by area. So if you take a look at Southern California, 29% are younger generation struggling to own property, well, which is the majority of Southern California, and 17% are low income individuals and families that are being priced out by corporations and other big leasing companies. So a lot of Southern California isn't stable enough to provide or to even purchase housing in this situation. Okay, something else that I wanted to include is um, having to do with the media of San Ysidro. Um, San Ysidro is like a stereotype that San Ysidro often faces due to its proximity to Mexico and because San Ysidro is primarily Latino and low income, is having the association with human trafficking, drug trafficking, and violence. Uh, and for example, some mainstream media criminalize the San Ysidro Mexican community, generalizing that all Mexicans are involved in cartels, violence, and human trafficking. One of the things, because of that, one of the things that I really wanted to discuss is like what might lead an individual, if an individual is involved in this cartel drug world, and like the reasons behind it. Uh, One of the things we have to ask ourselves, like, what will people do in order to feed their families and put on a roof over the head? Like, I feel like that's something that thousands of San Ysidro residents are asking themselves, and that I'm asking myself as well. Like, what will we do to just have basic necessities? Um, but yeah, it's a very small percentage of San Ysidro residents that do participate in this lifestyle, but it does not represent the community as a whole. A larger percentage of the community and San Ysidro residents work day jobs, multiple jobs just to feed their families, especially in the situation that they are now, having to find ways to pay their rent, to live in San Ysidro in general. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base on the exaggerations that occur um, with any city, especially in the media, which sometimes is an exaggeration. Right here I included a picture that was taken in San Ysidro when the Mexican army um, was seen in San Ysidro looking for any type of violence occurring. So, like in conclusion, some of the actions that were taking place in San Ysidro to fix the housing community have to do with community plans which have been taking part for like years of construction and stuff. But some of the difficulties that they have been facing is that there's many legal issues regarding whether it's environmental regulations or city regulations um, that are being like that can't be go through because of state regulations, and also there's not enough funding um, allocated toward the housing crisis in San Ysidro. So yeah, my suggestions in having to fix this is advocating to the Latino and low income communities of San Ysidro to get themselves informed, It's a lot of lobbying, it's a lot of door to door outreach, as well as community involvement that's going to take San Ysidro to the next step. Uh, the power to the people is one of the things that is really prosperous in this situation. And and yeah, that's it. Thank you.